32 FM 94.9.
It is a very beautiful Wednesday morning. I mean, already it's January 7th. So if you ask me, I feel like this January isn't slow like we ordinarily have the month of January. So on that note, I'm welcoming you to the Break It Down paper review on 32 FM 94.9. My name is ADEOLA. IBRAHIM, I was the night. I hope we woke up strong like a giant. Are we ready for the conversation around the national dailies? It will be no different. We check out the front pages and at some point, make sense of those stories and as well get your reaction on those stories and make it rounds. Don't forget, we are live on Facebook. It is 32 FM 949 Fenye with the double E's. 32 FM 949 Fenye. That's a platform where you can drop your comment before we open the studio lines for you to call in. Do well to drop that comment. You can also share the video and let it reach a quite number of people. All right, without further ado, let's check out the national dailies we have this morning. I will be kickstarting with the Vanguard newspaper today, the 7th of January 2026. The list story says, terrorists on rampage in Kwara State, Katsina, Kaduna, many abducted. Nigeria's democracy facing existential threat coming from Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Venezuela, NHIA foreign policy expert slammed the U.S. strike and Maduro's capture by the USA. Also, Nigeria's average oil output rises 7% to 1.652 million barrels per day in 11 months. That's the business and economy scene. And also we have this one about electricity. It says 5.36 million electricity customers, they remain without meters, coming from NERC. Also, Naira has risen to 1,470 Naira per dollar in the parallel market. Also, we have this one about Army. They rescued about retired colonel from kidnappers in Plateau State. Accommodation. Unilag may allows cotton to sanction racketeers. Joesu kicks over federal government's selective retirement age review. And the final one, Al Lokbobiri engineered stability in Bayelsa All Progressive Congress, paving way for Diri's leadership. That story is on the Vanguard newspaper. Let's move away from the Vanguard and check out what we have on the Punch newspaper. All right, on the Punch newspaper this morning, electricity subsidy in near 2 trillion naira yearly, and also banditry, police free 6 vigilantes arrested by army. Recapitalization hurdle, pension firms on for 277 billion lifeline. 2027, Jonathan pledged active role in the People's Democratic Party, says Turaki. Ramaphosa, Nigerian scholars to slam Donald Trump over Venezuela's Maduro's capture. Rather, appoint Katsina NUJ chairman and 2 others as permanent secretaries. Wike is more influential than Bashiru in Osun State, says Wike's aide. You can't claim to love President Bola Tinubu while fighting in Nyesom Wike. Abe, he tells Fubara. Donald Trump, he weighs military option to acquire Greenland. And this one says, Osun once again school encouragement as alumni renovate classroom in Osun State. And this one says, Oyo State suspend chief over illegal mining. Terrorism, police evacuate explosive planted on Niger Road. Oborivori, Delta NUJ, the mourn as Punchman dies at the age of 43. Family, says they are mourning, they're having the 65th birthday of Osa Okumbo. IGP deploys newly promoted DIG and 17 CPs. Still on the Punch newspaper, ADC ticket, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He rejected the call to step down and he attacked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. NANS shelve anti-tax protest after meeting NRS and others. IMBA urges agencies to boost revenue and also meet the budget target. Still on the Punch, governance must be responsive to people's need. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says that we'll produce another world wrestling champion. And no signs, 1.58 trillion 2026 budget. And this one, the final one on the Punch, the VIP protection crisis, NSCDC, the move to recruit 30,000 officers. All of these are the stories on the Punch newspaper. Let's see what the Premium Times is saying this morning. Well, I'd like to remind you again that we are live on Facebook and YouTube. It is 32FM 949 Fenya, 32FM 949 Fenya with a double E's. Drop your reaction. Let's know what you think about the stories, and be rest assured that I'll take those comments during the course of the show. On the Premium Times, we have this one about the People's Democratic Party leaders. They meet Jonathan and they say the former president, he has pledged support for the party. Nigerian migrant not high on the list of the migrant receiving U.S. welfare benefit. The CSOs criticized President Bola Tinubu National Assembly over secrecy and rubber stamp approvals in the 2024-2025 budget reenactment. Still on the Premium Times, Emir Samwike, he accuses River State political leaders of misleading Siminalayi Fubara. AFCON 2025, 5 defining takeaways from Nigeria's 4-0 demolition of Mozambique. That's a sports story. And still on that sports story, Nigeria 4-0 Mozambique. Player ratings as Super Eagles, the Mambas in Morocco. And this one, quite unfortunate, Edo State kidnappers, they kill one of 2 abducted brothers. Court orders interim forfeiture of 30.7 million recovered from BDC operator linked to FIRS official. And I think still on this point, we have this one about AFCON 2025 still. Algeria, they're set for the quarterfinal showdown with Nigeria after extra time win. President Bola Tinubu appointed the first female director general of the Nigerian Law School. And the final one, Nigerian Army probes soldiers' alleged killing of teenager in 𝐾𝐈𝐒 State. All right, before we go on a break, let's see what the Daily Trust is saying. The Daily Trust says Jonathan and the People's Democratic Party National Working Committee, they were in closed-door meeting in Abuja yesterday. Shekarau, Governor Yusuf can take NNPP mandate to APC like Kwakunso did to the People's Democratic Party. That's Shekarau saying that. INEC begins voter registration second phase. Castina, killings and kidnappings return. President Bola Tinubu's silence on the U.S. airstrike in Sokoto is irresponsible. Odinkalu says Governor Oti Ojikalu, the trade words over 2027 runs. And the final story on the Daily Trust. Some groups are fueling tension in ADC over presidential ticket, coming from Dele Momodu. All right, we have a minute to go on a break. What is the Daily Post saying? Daily Post, FCT seal orphanage over alleged child trafficking. Wow, that's interesting. Orphanage running child trafficking. Oh, my. All right, let's take away from that. INEC resumes nationwide voter registration. And police confirm kidnapping of photojournalist in Kaduna State. It is 14 minutes, gone past 6. We need to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll be back with the in-house analyst, Mr. Austin Iduma, to make sense of the stories. You don't want to miss it. Stick around. It is Break It Down, paper review on 32FM 94.9.
Happiness is a choice that we want you to make always. Choose to be happy. Choose 32FM 94.9 Ibadan.
Start your day and have a good time. Keep on cream. Where you need to have the break time. Kivo Creamer. If not tea, Papa Garita. Kivo Creamer. Kivo Creamer. I am the chef of life with Niger flavor. Niger vibe. Mr. Chef, two finger crush. I am the chef of life with Mr. Chef. I am the chef of life with Mr. Chef.
Mr. Chef, taste home, taste culture.
Chef of life.
Ijó lọmọ mo fòwúrọ̀ mi jó. Ayọ̀ abara tíntín. Bára ọmọ bá le koko, tọmọ ń ta kébékébé, àtìyá àtọmọ ni yóò máa yọ̀ ṣẹ̀kẹ̀. Àmọ́ o, tó bá di pé ara ọmọ ìkókó ò fẹ́ mókun, tára rẹ̀ ń lọ wọ́ọ́rọ́, tí kò sì dákẹ́ igbe, kò sí ìfòyà màmá bọ̀m̀bọ́ì. Rexall paracetamol drop ni kò yá ànáwọ́ gan lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. Apilẹ̀ṣẹ̀ Rexall paracetamol drop fúnra gbígbóná àti òjòjò lára ọmọdé. A ṣe pẹ̀lú àdùn eléso kó lè rọrùn fún àwọn ọmọdé láti mu. Pẹ̀lú èròjà tó máa ń jẹ́ kó silẹ̀ pẹ̀sẹ̀ nínú àwọn ọmọ. Rexall paracetamol drop. Ìlera ọmọ, ìdùnnú ìyá ni Rexall paracetamol. Ó tún wà ní olómi fún àwọn ọmọ tó ń rákò àti oníhóró fún àwọn àgbàlagbà. Bí ara kò bá ṣe wéré lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì, lọ rí dókítà rẹ̀. Rexall paracetamol, Daily Need Industries ló ṣe é.
Kò bá jẹ́ 24, 29 tàbí 32 ṣáà ti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ kàn tẹ 32FM949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀.
Láti ọdún 1960 ni a ti ń kọ́lé. Ṣùgbọ́n tayọ àwọn ọ̀nà àti afárá a kó àwọn èròǹgbà láti sopọ̀ ní ìletò gbogbo jákèjádò.
Èèyàn mi, léde wá tilẹ̀ yàtọ̀, ìrẹsì jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù ń so wá pọ̀.
Tayọ àwọn ibùgbé a kó ìbáṣepọ̀ láàárín àwọn ẹbí, ọ̀rẹ́ àti ará.
Ìyá mi, ìyá àgbà àti bàbá àgbà ti dé o.
Tayọ àwọn ọ́fíìsì a kọ́ ìpìlẹ̀ fún ìfìdímúlẹ̀ ibùdó agbára ètò ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà.
Àwọn kókó inú ìròyìn náà pẹ̀lú GDP.
Tayọ àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ a kọ́ àwùjọ, iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ àti ìdàgbàsókè orílẹ̀-èdè. Tayọ àwọn ibùdó ìdárayá a kọ́ ìnífẹ̀ẹ́sí àti ìmúlòkùnkúndùn orílẹ̀-èdè. Pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ àwa àti yín, a ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ìpìlẹ̀ àná àti òní pẹ̀lú àgbájọ ọwọ́. Ó dájú pé a ó ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ohun tó kàn. Lafarge, ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Washin, àtayọ ilé kíkọ́ nìkan.
And they stay there.
All we do is win, 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 and win on the Call and Win Game Show.
Mondays through Fridays from 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Insert Chop My Money song by Square.
Wake up, it's choco time. Donna Choco is here with a taste you love. Just open, pour, and enjoy the chocolatey ride. Donna Choco 3-in-1. Ooh, taste it, love it. Donna Choco 3-in-1. Ooh, I love it.
Introducing the new Dano Choco 3-in-1. It's tasty, creamy, and satisfying. Taste it, love it.
Brọ́dà mi bá mi yọ̀. Mo ti rà àádọ́rin ẹgbẹ̀rún náírà fi pamọ́ nínú àkókò yìí. Ọdún December tó ń bọ̀ yìí ayé yàtọ̀ o.
Ìyẹn máa dá o, ṣùgbọ́n tó bá jẹ́ wípé orí Smart Saver ló fi pamọ́ sí ni ẹgbẹ̀rún lẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà yóò ti gorí ẹ̀ o.
Ìpín márùndínlógún ìdá ọgọ́rùn-ún lọ́dún kan nìyẹn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ẹ ti fi Smart Cash ra data, ra àkókò ìbánisọ̀rọ̀, ẹ tún fi sanwó àwọn ohun èlò. Ní báyìí, a ti fi Smart Saver kún o. O lè rí tó ìpín márùndínlógún ìdá ọgọ́rùn-ún gbà ní ọdún kan lórí iyekíye tí o bá fi pamọ́. Ojoojúmọ́ ni ìpín rẹ yóò máa wọnú àkáǹtì rẹ. O lè gba owó rẹ nígbàkigbà. Ohun tó dára jù ni wípé o lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú iyekíye. Dáúnlóòdù app Smart Cash kí ìwọ náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí jẹ̀gbádùn. Smart Cash látọwọ́ ADEOLA. Òfin àti ọ̀rọ̀ àsọtẹ́lẹ̀ wà o. Money matter na sense.
32 FM
94.9.
All right, welcome back. It is Break It On, paper review on 32 FM 94.9. Now we're moving on to the conversation segment. We'll pick a few stories as a hot topic for the morning. And to help us to analyze those stories is Mr. Austin Aduma. Good morning, Mr. Austin.
Good morning, ADEOLA. And thank you for having me.
Yes, I mean, let's say Happy New Year. I mean, some of us will say Happy New Year up until February. As long as you've not spoken to that person that year, we'll still continue to say Happy New Year. So Happy New Year to you. All right, I would want yes, I would want us to start with the security scene and then probably move on to political scene. There is this story about security, and it is quite unfortunate. There's one about terrorists on rampage in Kwara State, Katsina, Kaduna, and many persons abducted. It says barely days after terrorists killed over 40 persons in Niger State last weekend, the marauders have again struck in 3 states and more, including a photojournalist. And 7 persons were also abducted in Kwara State following a failed attempt to kidnap the traditional ruler of ADEOLA in Katsina State. And quite a lot. They mentioned one about David Oyeriola and his wife were also kidnapped. It's just a long story, and I think anyone who wants the details of that story should go to the Vanguard newspaper. It is the lead story. I think after the U.S. strike and all of that, the terrorists will be threatened and maybe rest for some time. But it seems like these terrorists, those marauders, are not resting anytime soon. And I want you to have this particular story. I don't know if you remember the story of the family of twins that were abducted after their father was killed by suspected kidnappers in Edo State. Did you check out the story? Do you know the story? Mr. Austin, I'm asking you. Now, gunmen suspected to be kidnappers, they are actually abducted the 2 children. And the police came out recently to tell us that they've been released. But the family came out to debunk it, saying, we were the ones that, released our families by paying ransom. So the police should not say they have been released on oath because we actually paid money to release our twins. So I want your reaction to the rampage of insecurity still, ravaging Nigeria.
Yeah, it's a very big problem that we have to confront, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. Government should continue to step up efforts. In all honesty, our military have really done fantastically well in recent time. But the truth of the matter is that until and unless this attack stop, until the risk and the threat reduces, efforts put in place may be as good as nothing. So the best of the government through the security operative is not yet enough. Even after the U.S. strike, there's still a lot of problem, especially in the north central Kwara as a case study. There have been a lot of infiltration. A lot of places are troubled. There have been kidnapping, there have been abduction, there have been even mass killing. That is one thing that we really have to take care of. To the extent that traditional rulers are being adopted even in their palaces. This happened several years ago and it's coming up again now. The heat is much on them. They are still carrying out a couple of attacks. There was also a particular community where they threatened that if you don't declare for a particular faith, life could be snuffed out of them. So all of these areas and these tendencies, government had to address them. As the case in Edo State is quite unfortunate. For example, this is not also the only time that has happened. We have seen situations in the past where ransom will have been paid and security operative will come out to say that ransom were never paid. Either wear the shoes, know where it pinches. If you have a family member, for example, you may want to do everything to ensure that your loved one is released. One of the things that you could do is to pay ransom. Most of the time, the government don't want us to talk about this ransom. Security operative, they don't want us to talk about it. But it is happening. Because if you have your loved one and you have to save their life and they need you to pay money, you just have to pay. Because the truth is that we are not really as if we are on top of the situation. We are not winning the war. That is what it means. If they could coordinate attack, carry out attack, coordinate the collection of ransom, they are able to collect those ransom, it means that we are not yet on top of the game. And rather than just public sentiment as a way of PR on the part of security operative, they should not let it look as if ransom is not being paid, where actually family have actually paid ransom. So that is not good enough. The areas that you cannot control, it means that you are not yet there. But if I pay ransom, for example, and I see a security officer or a police PRO come out to say that ransom was not paid, that is even like a worse injury to me, because you could not secure my loved ones. I had to sell my fortune to get them released, and you paint the image as if ransom was not paid. Meanwhile, indeed, it was paid. So if we color the information or tint the information to contradict the reality on ground, how do we then confront the situation and overcome the situation? So it's a whole lot of problem. I believe that we can win this war. The problem is surmountable, but we have not done enough yet. That's my submission.
All right, thank you very much for that amazing submission. I mean, some persons are saying maybe some individuals are actually milking the situation. Maybe we have bandits, yes, we have terrorists, and we have kidnappers who are just Nigerians, who are just, ordinary people. We've seen situations where wife would, plan with husband to have we've seen stories like that. Let's plan to kidnap somebody in the family so we can get money. So maybe the kidnapping stories are, some persons are actually making that situation. And in fact, what is the essence of the NIN, the BVN thing, when some people can actually, collect ransom, or maybe they get in cash, but it's just a lot to digest. Mr. Austin, because of time, let's take a look at this story. Venezuela, Nigeria's silence is embarrassing, coming from the African Democratic Congress. So the African Democratic Congress, they've decried the continuous silence of the Nigerian government on the recent happenings in Venezuela. According to their publicity secretary, the national, it says Nigeria's silence on that issue has prompted reaction from other African countries. So if Nigeria is not saying anything, it's quite embarrassing, because Nigeria has lost their stand as the leading voice in the West African sub-region and African continent, saying we're no longer the giant of Africa. If you can't say things like this, talk and react to things like this. I want your reaction. Do you think Nigeria's reaction to what happened between the U.S. and Venezuela is so important?
Yeah, our response is important and also strategic and diplomatic. But, ADEOLA, it is what it is, right? There is this proverb that the person that they want to set on fire, that you now go to the fuel station to buy petrol and pour it upon yourself. It's not only Nigeria. We have world powers that have refused to really come out straight on this issue. Donald Trump is like the world police now. Because of their military might and what have you. For example, a country in North America, a very strong country in North America, released a statement. He was even accused by his own citizen, the prime minister of that country, released a statement. He was afterwards accused by a citizen that he didn't really come out clearly. He was just trying to gloss over the issue because if you want to talk about the issue that happened in Venezuela, you must condemn the action of Donald Trump. Because a president is a president. You can't, because you don't like the face of a particular president and because you have superpower, you have to capture a president like a common criminal, not even making him get tried in his own country. You have to take him to your country, get him tried in your country. Most likely you are going to jail him in your country. Now, where is the sovereignty of that nation? It's an injury. And there is this popular saying that an injury to one is an injury to all. So if care is not taken, we might see some top countries of the world humiliating other lesser countries, try to ruffle them. Like Professor Bolaji Akiyemi, a renowned foreign affairs expert, a diplomatic expert, said, he said the action of Donald Trump is a prelude to a third world war. It's almost looking like that, because what happened in that situation was quite unfortunate. So I am not surprised that Nigerian government have not released statement. You and I know the reason why that could be. And I'm also sure if it is ADC that is also in power and they are facing the heat that is currently going on, they may not also respond appropriately. So whether we are still the giant of Africa, I don't know. But it's a dicey situation for our government. That's the truth of the matter. Because people are being careful about what is happening. The way Donald Trump bully even president. Once you are not on his side, he has this method of bullying them.
Okay.
So That is just it, Adeola.
All right, just
There are some
to
things I don't want to say.
I know. All right, too many stories. Now let's check out the political scene. Wike is more influential than Bashiru in Osun State. I know you know the old back and forth between Bashiru and Nyesom Wike, but now Nyesom Wike treats media a Lewi Olayinka. He has reacted, and this has intensified the war of words between the National Secretary of APC, Ajibola Bashiru, claiming that the FCT minister weights greater political influence in Osun State than the APC chieftain. There have been a lot of exchange between Wike and Bashiru over River State politics during the FCT minister when he warned Bashiru to stay clear of state affairs, right? It is on Wike, it has just been a lot. He also mentioned that some persons are the one, misleading Fubara in River State and a lot to digest. But a lot of persons have had issues with Wike, or I say Wike has had a lot of issues with people in time past. I would want to list their names, but it would take time. We have the likes of Atiku, the likes of Aminu Tambuwa, Rotimi Amechi, Peter Obi, Bukola Saraki, David. It goes on and on. Even Governor Makinde, he used to be best friend. Who calls him my in-law? Bala Mohammed, Dr. Ajibola, even Patient Jonathan at some point, which is Secondus. The list goes on and on and on and on. How would you describe Wike's way of playing politics, and what do you envisage happening to him come 2027? It's just a lot going on.
Yeah, one of the things that affects him so much is that he does not know how to leave the stage when the ovation is very loud, still very loud. It's not every fight you fight. Even as an elderly person, as age is ticking on your side, you choose and pick your fight. Wike fights with everybody without decorum, and that is not good enough for him. When this crisis started, some of us blame Fubara for what he did. Along the line, Fubara lost practically everything. The president stripped Fubara naked, though constitutionally to a larger extent. On behalf of Wike, then you now wonder, what else does Wike want from this man? Do you want to take life away from him? Now he has decided to move to another party. Yet you have not still rested. You are supporting the president. The governor said he's also supporting the president. So what is the big deal? One thing with this fight is that Wike does not even care. He fights with people that have the ears of the president. What Lewi Olayinka said, as far as I'm concerned, is unnecessary, because Wike is just the fact that Wike is more politically popular than Ajibola Bashiru. Wike has been FCT minister. He became a two-time governor. He has played politics almost all his life. He's now FCT minister. Ajibola Bashiru only went to the Senate. He has not been governor of Osun State. So if you say he's more popular politically than him, you are saying the truth. But the truth of the matter is that Ajibola Bashiru is the number 2 APC person in Nigeria. Can he fight Ajibola Bashiru and get away with it? Don't forget, we are talking about the party of the president. You are serving the president, and you are fighting those that are very close to the president. As far as I'm concerned, it does not make sense. If care is not taken, it might lose out completely at the long run. There are some people you don't fight with. Fubara is a member of the APC. It is the duty of the APC to protect their governor. That is what is called party politics. You are not yet a member of the APC. You are a member of the PDP. So you can't be fighting everybody here and there. Those that support you, you clap for them. Those who have dissenting voice, you want to bring them down. It doesn't really make sense. There are some people that will talk to the president and the president will listen to them. Don't forget, there have been prayer on Mr. President to sack Nyesom Wike, because some people hate the president because of Wike. One of the offense of Mr. President, as far as some people is concerned, is keeping Nyesom Wike as Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. So for me, I think it should tread cautiously. It is not every fight you fight. It is not every statement or every opinion you react to. Okay. It doesn't make sense anymore.
All right.
So that's the truth. You are no longer in the same party again. Fubara is in the APC. You are still in the PDP as at yesterday.
Okay, Mr. Austin, we'll come back. I'm sorry. Sorry to cut your thought. When we come back, we'll also talk about the electricity subsidy nearing 2 trillion naira yearly. Is this sustainable? That's one question I will ask when we come back. Stick around. It is Breaking Down Paper Review on 32 FM 94.9.
feel better about your life.
32 FM 94.9, the antidote to depression. 32 FM
94.9.
All right, it is time to get your reactions. To the stories making rounds on the national dailies. 0906 200949, 0906 200949, or 0809 7949, 0809 7949. Those are the numbers to call to be a part of the show, or 0705 5949, 0705 5949, 0906 2009, or you head on to our Facebook page to drop your comment. I'll do well to take this comment during the course of the show. But before we start picking the calls, let me ask this question. I said I was going to ask you about the electricity subsidy, because we are struggling to pay over 4 trillion debt owed to power generation companies, and the federal government incurred a total of 1.98 trillion when it comes to subsidy obligations in 12 months from October to September 2025. And if you recall, just to reduce the subsidy burden, that was why there was an increase for the Band A tariff in April 2024, when Adelabu repeatedly pointed out that that subsidy was no longer sustainable, hence why they had the increase in Band A tariff. But now I want to ask you, Mr. Austin, very shortly, do you think this electricity subsidy is sustainable?
Of course, it's not sustainable. No subsidy on consumption has ever been sustainable in the country. This was what happened to the petroleum subsidy too. When you subsidize and there's no efficiency in the distribution, monitoring, and management, my view is that invest in the electricity sector. Adelabu has not really gotten it right in that particular sector. There are a lot of problems within that sector. When you pay subsidy, of course, the 3 trillion was a legacy debt that the president was trying to write off. It was a legacy debt, maybe gas debt, or the gas company because of distribution. So if you are going to subsidize and people still pay so much, then what is the essence of the subsidy? Why can't you fix the problem? Let people pay whatever they get value for. That is how it should be. If you give me electricity, stable electricity throughout the month, for example, I can pay 50,000, I can pay 80,000. But the problem that we have always had is that Nigerians are constantly being made to pay for darkness. That's the truth, because to generate your power is also capital intensive. But if the power is stable, people are willing to pay more. But power is not stable. People are paying more through their noses. Like I said the other time, I am in Band A. All my family members are in Band A. Of course, I have relative stability in power supply, but you can't say that across board. If it is not across board, it means we are not yet there. So the government really need to do more as far as that sector is concerned. Okay. It is not about pricing. Pricing is a factor, but pricing is not the only factor. I think where we are getting it wrong is that Adelabu believe that pricing is the only factor. Is more cost conscious than facing the fundamental issues within that sector. Okay.
All right, now let's move to our listeners. 0906 200949, 0906 200949, or 0809 7949, 0809 7949, or 0705 5949, 0705 5949. Those are the numbers to call to be a part of the show, or you head on to our Facebook page. It is 32 FM 949 Fenya. All right, let's kickstart with this. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. You're live.
This Prince Bumi Adefusi calling from Apata.
Good to have you.
The analyst always taking the truth always. Regarding the power sector, government must be serious because it is the backbone of the economy. Government is talking about tax. Yes, yet they are still failing. To work on what that will make the businesses of people to be more prosperous. So we don't want 2026, and we are 2027 is fast approaching. At least let them do something. Let them, if it is only 2 sectors in Nigeria they wanted to face, let them face it, and so that citizens can enjoy. That's my submission. Good morning.
All right, thank you so much, Prince Bumi Adefusi, for your reaction. 0906 2000 949 0906 2000 949. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Simeon.
Simeon.
I want to react to the from Ibadan,
all right, good to have you, sir. Good to have you.
My contribution is that National University Regulation Agency or whatever. I want to see that agency is not doing much, or maybe I should place the blame on the ministers. There's a lot of rot in that sector. My advice would be that the president should change the minister. Let's bring back Batinaj, the ministers that oversaw that sector during Jonathan administration, or the former governor of Edo State, Obaseki, because he was the only governor that I saw that was very much interested at that time. I remember he convoked a meeting where he invited the BDC chairperson and some House of Representative members. So he was the only one that tackled, they tried to tackle the problem. Let me say he tried to tackle the problem there. I see that the issue of prepaid meters, we have to ensure that the supply prepaid meters before we can talk of any cost increment or whatever tariff increment. Right. That's one means by which you can tackle. Another means the citizen can employ that. We have to employ what I call a showdown. Let citizens stop taking electricity for at least 2 months and stop paying these people. It is because we are paying them cheap money. That's why they are not giving us what I call satisfying services.
Okay.
Let us stop taking electricity from them until they improve the situation, or the new agencies that the government are encouraging now come up.
All right, Mr.
That's my
Simeon.
submission. Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Simeon. That was a lengthy one. Thank you so much for your contribution. I'm also a lot of Nigerians who like that, not to have power for 2 months. All right, let's take this. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good to have you on the show. Hello, are you there?
Hello, good morning. Hi, Ranking. Yeah.
All right, good to have you. Thank you.
What's your name? Mario, calling from Apata.
God bless you. Too.
Now, on the issue of UK, I think I like the position of Austin, what he said this morning. And one thing that is happening, which I want Austin to be hearing this as at now, is that we have not heard anything from Mr. President, which is Tinubu. By now, I would have expected Mr. President to have called UK to order and tell him to shift his word. Because as we speak now, UK, you cannot be in PDP and be questioning the authority of the APC. You cannot be dining with A and be dining with B. I think there is an hierarchy of party in parties. So the question is, what is the stance of Mr. President on all this? That is my doubt. What is the standpoint of Mr. President in this? Well, I just pray that God will spare the lives of every one of us to witness the election come 2027 and know where we know by then we know where UK truly belongs. Thank you very much and God bless you.
God bless you, Mr. Benga. Hello, good morning. Who's there?
Hello, good morning, everyone in the studio.
Good morning. What's the name?
Young Oladimaji speaking from the ultimate Dibla.
Yes, so how was the New Year celebration? Hope you had fun. All right.
Thank you. On the issue of Wiki, I think Austin has done justice on that, and I agree with him totally. And actually, I know that he was giving support to Wiki when Fubara has the problem with him. But he even mentioned it in his analysis. So that's for that one. And on the issue of electricity, as far as I'm concerned, I think the Mr. President making a mistake, because when you remove the subsidy, why can't we channel part of this money of the subsidy into improving the electricity, improving the power in the country. Instead of that, the money to me, just like they are just wasting the money. We cannot trace any development towards this money of subsidy. No infrastructure, no human development that we can point to as far as this subsidy is concerned. So what are we seeing now is when the minister now talking about removing the subsidy, I mean whatever, is this subsidy that is talking about power now? To me, even when we are to remove it, do we even enjoy the electricity?
Okay.
What they want to do, let them go ahead and do it. We don't even enjoy anything safe. Thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you, Mr. John Olarawaju. Adebayo Adelabu hasn't said anything about removing subsidy. We only talked about, how subsidy neared about 2 trillion naira yearly. So the question was, is it sustainable? We know at some point, Adebayo Adelabu has said that this thing is not sustainable. Hence why at some point in April 2024, they had to increase the tariff for Band A. But at this point in time, I'm not sure you have said anything recently about removing subsidy on power. Let's take comment on Facebook. We have Sulaiman Sharif. It says electricity subsidy is not sustainable. The federal government is supposed to have evolved a way around it. But a few days ago, Serap raised an alarm that 128 billion is missing in power ministry. Till now, APC-led federal government is yet to react. We must stop corruption in subsidies while paying for more darkness. All right, thank you, Mr. Sulaiman Sharif on Facebook. Alaba Yusuf says good morning. Adeboja Yusuf says good morning as well. Let's take Honorable 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿𝐒 It says Inyesom Wike should maintain his lane so as to maintain his relevance. Mr. Adebayo Adelabu needs to improve on the electricity power supply. Alhaji Yetiku Abubakar saying he will not drop his ambition for anyone, meaning that Peter Obi should know that he has no chance at all of clinching ADC presidential ticket. He's just there in spirit of sportsmanship. All right, thank you, Honorable 𝐂𝐿𝐒𝐿𝐒 for your reaction. Let's take Dr. Mrs. Olebara from Owerri City. That's in Imo State. It says, why is Wike always playing good? Why can't Wike allow Governor Fubara to concentrate and deliver dividend of democracy to River State people? Is Wike the only ex-governor of River State? It is becoming too much for Wike and very embarrassing. Those the gods want to destroy, they first make them mad. Okay, says Wike must know thyself. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Mrs. Olebara from Owerri. I appreciate your reaction. It is 13 minutes gone past 7. We'd have loved to get your reaction more, but don't worry, from January 19, the paper review will start 6:30 and end 7:30. So we have 1 hour of full analysis. We have 1 hour to make sense of stories, 1 hour to ask questions, begging for answers. But for now, we have to go. It is 13 minutes gone past 7. But from January 19, like I said, we'll have 1 hour full conversation. The show will end 7:30 Mondays to Fridays. My name is ADEOLA Ibrahim. Mr. Austin Iduma, thank you so much for your insightful submission this morning. Mr. Austin, are you there? Okay.
Thank you, Adiola.
All right. Do well to enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Nigerians, thank you for joining us today on Break It Down Paper Review on 32 FM 94.9. Same time, same station tomorrow. My name is ADEOLA Ibrahim. Bye.